In this video, I will focus on the challenges that full market liberalization is facing. Electricity market liberalization in both wholesale and retail levels are relatively young. We have observed major structural changes in both to converge to a proper structure that can accommodate difficulties of the market. While there are some similarities in these two markets, there are also major differences that affect the best market mechanism for each. For this reason, in this video, I will discuss each of them separately, starting with the wholesale market. The wholesale market is typically in charge of energy supply-demand matching at the national level at all times. Wholesale markets collect all energy supplies from generators and all electricity demand from, for example, retailers and match them. If there are many mismatches or any mismatches, electricity markets use different approaches to ensure supply-demand matching is happening. Some examples of these approaches include using standby reserve resources, curtailing surplus renewable energy, shedding some demand, and trading electricity by neighboring and connected countries. Essentially, the deregulation of wholesale electricity markets has multiple challenges. Three of the important challenges are uncertainty in supply-demand matching, different stakeholders and conflicting objectives, diversity in energy mix. I will discuss each of these three challenges one by one. The first challenge is uncertainty in both generation and demand side of the electricity supply chain. Electricity demand cannot be accurately predicted. Some generators, such as renewables, are not predictable, and others might fail to operate for strategic actions or technical failures. Of course, in a liberalized market, uncertainty of supply and demand sides can be even exacerbated due to the strategic behavior of supply and demand sides. The second challenge stems from the fact that unbundling the generation and delivery leads to conflicting objectives. Originally, system operators were in charge of both pricing and generation and reliably delivering energy to the end users. After unbundling, generators act as profit seekers in the market that are not in charge of securing energy delivery to end consumers. Generators such as hydropower plants might even strategically withhold their generation if it helps improve their profit. It is therefore sometimes needed that additional regulatory interventions steer the behavior of generators and align them with the premise of power networks in providing reliable and cost-efficient electricity to end users. The third challenge is the diversity of the technology of energy generators. There is a large range of technologies with different characteristics that participate in electricity markets. They differ in multiple dimensions. Two of the most important ones include the cost and the ramp rate. Some generators, such as gas turbines and coal-based power plants, have very large costs of generation, while solar and wind power have negligible cost of generation. Ramp rate is the speed at which the generator can increase or decrease its power generation if needed. This differs per generator. For example, gas turbines are among fast ramp rate generators, while coal power plants are slow. They cannot decrease or increase their power generation very fast. This needs to be accounted for in the structure of electricity markets. For example, fast ramp rate generators can be used for surprises in energy mismatches in short term, while slow ramp rate generators can be used to serve the base load. To accommodate these changes, the wholesale electricity market is designed in a multi-stage setting. Different technologies can start trading from years up to a few minutes before the time of operation, depending on their characteristics and ramp rates. For example, if you have a generator that is highly reliable but has a slow ramp rate, it might be beneficial to participate in stages that are way ahead of the delivery time. In contrast, if you have a generator that is unreliable or has a fast ramp rate, it might be more beneficial if you trade closer to the time of operation in which fast ramp rate generators are needed. Retail markets have different objectives and focus than the wholesale markets. In retail markets, there are three main stakeholders involved. The prosumers, which can be households who might have rooftop solar panels, then they can consume and produce at the same time. The distribution system operator, which owns all the network and grid to deliver electricity to the prosumers, and the retailers, who take the financial responsibility of charging prosumers for the electricity use and buy the aggregate values from the grid. The objective of the DSO is to make sure that the total electricity demand does not go beyond the capacity of the grid, and if it does, provide some solution. This is called congestion control. The cost will be transferred to the retailers and eventually to the end prosumers. The objective of the retailer is to maximize their profit while they are responsible to trade the aggregate electricity across their customers from or to the wholesale market. The objective of prosumers is to choose the best retailer that can serve them in the most cost-efficient and according to their preferences. In retail markets, retailers compete with each other in neighborhoods to attract more consumers or prosumers. To do so, retailers develop different tariffing mechanisms with competitive prices and even often with some discount packages. Competition in retail markets is not as mature as in the wholesale market. The challenges facing in the retail market, the regulation includes unbundling the generation and the delivery, which is similar to what was discussed for the wholesale market. Customer inertia. Once prosumers subscribe to one retailer, they do not switch to another one unless there will be a substantial difference. Market concentration. As there is no major difference in prices among retailers, typically prosumers go to the most well-known ones, and this creates an oligopoly with only a few major retailers. In summary, in this video, we highlighted some of the important points regarding the deregulation of the wholesale and retail markets. The takeaway messages of this video are: there are some challenges with regard to full market liberalization. Market liberalization needs a proper market structure. Current electricity markets are structured to accommodate the unique and diverse characteristics of suppliers and consumers. It is indeed helpful to have additional regulations in the transition phase towards market liberalization to align it with technological changes and market needs.